Hello there, people of the world. Welcome to today's episode of Coffee Chats with Jax. Last week I put out a video talking about my current process that I'm in. I kind of just cried with you guys and was really honest about where I was at, and there wasn't really a solution at the end. It was just me sharing my heart as raw and vulnerable as it was, because the past 2 weeks have been really intense, and I know that I've said that a lot about times in my past, but you guys, there's a lot. There's a lot that's been happening in my life, and it's been really intense, and I just really want to thank you guys for being there for me last week and being there for me this week and all the weeks, because you guys, I have felt so loved by your responses, and I have felt so safe and so just real. There's a lie that I've been told my whole life, that at the end of the day, friends won't be there for you. People aren't going to be there for you. That's a lie that I was told by someone who was supposed to lead me my whole life. I think what has been saving me the past couple weeks has been people, has been community, has been friends. It's been really, really rough, you guys. I think I've broken down crying uncountable amount of times. I drove home from work the other day bawling my eyes out because abuse hurts. Emotional and verbal abuse is real, and it hurts. And when it comes from people that you thought were supposed to be there and love you and you're supposed to trust and be safe with them, it's the most confusing, sad thing in the world, and it hurts really bad. The thing that has saved me in that was being able to open up my heart and share with people. And I just moved to a new city, and so it was scary because right after this happened, I was in LA. And I was with my old people, my safe people, and it was so safe, and I was crying with them and being with them. And then I got on this plane and went back to Nashville, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going back to the place that's new, the place that's scary, because people don't really know me there as well as people in LA did, but you guys, I got here. And it was kind of in this hard time, I had no choice but to let my walls down and let people in. Because it was kind of an emergency. It was a legitimate, I need people right now. This is a praise report because people showed up. Every single person that I went to here in Nashville about this showed up. People cried with me, people prayed with me, people went up to bat for me, people were angry with me, they were there. I think the most powerful response that I've gotten sharing this story that's been happening the past 2 weeks is when I was telling my friend and he just cried. I just started to open up and I shared, and he just started crying and just told me that his heart was broken, and it was so real. And I think that was such a healing response. And then I started crying. A different friend told me, and she was having a hard time, and she was talking about it, she started crying, and she told me that she's someone carries Jesus with them when you can cry with them. That's so real. And I've been able to let down my walls and just share and just cry with people. There's so much healing that comes from that, and I think that I'm learning that now more than ever. If there's anyone in your life telling you that you can't trust anyone, and community is a lie, and people aren't going to be there for you, and you can't trust your friends to be there for you because they're just your friends, they don't actually care about you at the end of the day, that's a lie. Unless you have crappy people in your life, that is a lie. If anything, these past 2 weeks have completely built up my trust in the people that I'm around and just people in general, because I have felt so loved just by letting people in and by giving them the opportunity to love me where I'm at. It's hard to show up when you're upset, and it's people keep asking me the typical, hey, how are you doing? Just regular, oh, good, how are you? Good, cool, I'll see you next week. Awesome. That hasn't been a thing with me the past week. I haven't let it. Even people in casual conversations, at work, how are you? I say, you know what, I'm actually not good. People actually do care. And it's hard because I get scared that opening up and having an issue happening in my life and bringing that to someone becomes a burden. But you know what? I think this week that just went away. I think that this week Jesus lifted that burden from me and allowed me to open up to people. Showed me that people love me, and people showed me the real meaning of family. Real family. It actually, I think, changed my life this week in the best way possible. Opening up and just being where you're at. How's your heart feeling? And just express that. It's so important, rather than covering it up because no one will understand, or you don't know if people will actually be there for you, or you don't want to be too much. But you guys, accepting help it changes things. I was getting these messages, you guys, terrible messages, terrible things, and I almost passed out at one of my tables that I was serving. I had to walk away and knelt down by a trash can and just cried out to God. It feels like I'm drowning sometimes, but the second I open up, the second I allow someone to be there for me, because you know what? Jesus has been talking to me through people lately. Jesus has been talking to me just simply to let me know that he's there. Actually, I had a friend tell me that in the hardest times, we get to know Jesus in a whole new way. We get to know a whole new side of Jesus. And it's sad because it takes us going through pure hell to know that side of Jesus. But when we do, it changes everything in the best way possible. And you guys, that side of Jesus, I believe, is just his presence, the thickest that it's ever been. It's just him being there and crying with me and hugging me. Sometimes there's not words to fix things. Even when like a friend's going to you, sometimes words don't do anything. Sometimes you just need someone to sit there with you and to hug you, and that is what Jesus has been doing, and that has been affirmed through so many people. Guys, he's mad with me right now. I was being prayed for last night, and right when we were talking about it, a big thunder shook the whole place we were in, and it started pouring rain out of nowhere. I believe in my heart that that was Jesus pissed, because when people mess with his kids, he's pissed. It's really about love. It's about taking care of each other's hearts. It's about meeting each other where we're at. There's so much, you guys, and I really just want to thank you for being there for me, and thank you for making such a safe place for me, and I love you guys, and Jesus is here. I know that it's going to be okay, because I think that we're in a new season now. That actually was the words spoken over us on Sunday, was that it's a new season, and I think that it's a season of hope. And I think it's a season of blessing, and I think it's a season of Jesus showing up bigger than he has ever showed up before. So I want to declare that right now over myself and over you. And if you choose to accept that and partner with that with me, then I think that this is going to be really, really amazing. And I'm excited, and I have goosebumps, and it's going to be okay. So you guys, thanks for being on this journey with me. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for watching this video and telling me about it. You guys, when you come up and tell me about these videos or message me, that means everything. There's a lot more that I want to share with you guys, so just join me on this journey. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, all that's in the description box below. If you want to get more involved, if you want to become a part of what I'm doing and support me further, there's going to be a link to my Patreon page on the side of the screen there in that box or description box below. If you go to my Patreon page, you can read what it is that I believe in, what it is I'm trying to do with these videos, and just support me and be a part of the voice that I am trying to make louder. Okay? I love you guys, and I will see you next week.